Okay, so we're gonna go over a couple of different things here. Just based on what I'm seeing, we have one glaring obstacle right now, which is this white vector here is showing me that, well, I'm gonna select this here, which is so path ends. It's telling me that it's not a completed vector. So it looks like in this corner, and I'm gonna try to zoom in on that corner, and it may actually show me the detail where they aren't actually connected here. So just be mindful of that there and reconnect those when you're running this. Outside of that, so we have the red inside. Now this is an issue because we know based off of what SheetCam tells us, if there's an outside shape and there's a shape inside of it, these vectors should be listed as yellow if on the same layer as this, and they're not. So I'm actually going to go to my contour tools, and I'm just going to select everything inside of here. So it's now selected everything is white, and I'm just going to right click on it. I'm going to go move to layer, and then I'm going to go with my, let's just say for instance, outside offset. Cool. Now I go to my pointer tool, and let's see if it'll let me see this whole thing. Cool. By doing all of this, I have now made it so that, now I said move to, I want to clarify that. When I say move to, it means I want the entire vector to be moved over. I don't want to leave a copy of it. Like if I were to say copy to layer, it would actually take a physical copy of it, put it onto that first layer. There are uses for that. In this case, we're not going to. But with the entire program set up like this, if I were to go with my pointer tool, I'm just going to say not threading. We're not threading today. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go outside offset to the outside offset layer is what it's called. I have a 16 gauge simulator. I have my lead in and lead out at 1/4 inch. Cool. Let's take a look at what's going on here. All right, so all of these letters here are showing me that they're cutting on the inside. We are actually cutting inside of the vectors. And it's a super easy way to see that in these particular files is Plasma can't get tight into these corners, so what it does is it's best approximation. And you can see right there, there's a little bit of it doesn't get into this corner, and it's on the inside of that corner. So very good. All right. So we can do that to many of the corners inside of here. You can see a little bit there, and there. That is the nature of that beast, and it looks like we're cutting inside of there. And the only one that we're not cutting inside of right now is this one. Now this V, because it's not a complete vector, it's actually cutting on the line. So we actually don't see those corner deformations where you would, like there's no white line denoting the vector. It's right now cutting spot on the vector. And let me see if I can actually illustrate that here. So if you were to look at these here, all of these yellow lines are the outside shape, and these green lines represent the cut path. You'll notice on this V there is no yellow line because it's actually cutting on the path. It's overlapping on the actual physical path and not able to cut it. So just make sure you fix that, and you'll be able to cut this sign out like that. You'll be able to grab that. But that's what you're seeing there, is that V is giving you some trouble. Now, let's go back. I'm going to do one other thing here. Now, we can do this another way, where let's just say I'll make an operation, and I go outside offset on my outside offset layer. And I go, okay, cool. And my outside offset is there. Now, with all of these letters here, I'm just going to go inside offset on the inside offset layer. Now, you'll notice my screen has a couple other things that yours might. This is the latest version that we're translating over. But the tooling and the way it works is exactly the same as the program. They just added some UI functions that actually are pretty nifty little things. But we'll notice here, let's take a look. I just said inside offset on the inside offset functions, and same thing as last time. We are cutting on the inside. It looks good to me. And again, same problem with the V is we're getting that lack of proper vector there. So That being said and done, I do want to do one other thing, which is I want to click on my, and hold my inside offset and move it up. The reason I do this is because this order of operations is going to impact the way it cuts on the table. So inside offset needs to be cut first before outside offset. So just keep that in mind as you're working with it. There we go. So those are the two different ways I would then set up this file. The cut, you can pick and choose however you want to really run this. I would prefer the first method, which is just put everything onto one layer. But I would first fix that V. Make sure that they are actually connected, and you'll be good to go. And again, I saw where the lack of connection was. I'm going to remove these green parts here. We saw the lack of connection because A, the vector was white, which immediately tells us there's something wrong with it, unless we designed it to be just a line. And the next part is we use this tool to find out exactly where those path ends don't meet. And that's where it is. So now we have that set up. Let me know if you have questions, but this should really help you get going as soon as possible.